What's up, everybody? It's Zach, the Celtics guy. I'm back with another video, another segment, second one of the day. But I caught this over the weekend. Couldn't really make any videos or responses to this because I was at work all weekend. So yeah, doing those double shifts back to back. But caught on to this, wanted to respond, but couldn't really get much of a break. So, but now with the time that I do have on my day off, relaxing and whatnot, I can't help but respond to this. And I know I concluded one of my Zach's legal lessons earlier today. I'm going to keep on doing those, but when I do see some things like this, I'm definitely going to respond because it's too fucking good to not respond to it. So yes, for one stupid fucking man that I've talked about on this channel before, Dave Rubin, as a lot of people call him, Rave Dubin, because he's so fucking stupid. This might be one of the dumbest, I know I've said this before, because Dave Rubin makes so many stupid fucking comments. Like, he makes an ass of himself on a daily basis, all the time, every time. Whether he's talking about politics, world affairs, climate change, anything, gay rights, building codes. Go ask Joe Rogan about that one. Go anything. He makes an ass of himself on a daily fucking basis. Now Dave Rubin is making up shit about climate change, and he somehow manages to embarrass himself. He somehow manages to embarrass himself all the time. This is why nobody can stand him. This is why so many people do not take him seriously. Joe Rogan don't take him seriously. Many liberals, people on the left, don't take him seriously. Sam Harris doesn't take him seriously. No one takes him seriously. It's ridiculous. And I'm not shilling for progressives or leftists or whatever because I'm a moderate liberal. I do believe in, certain things like universal health care, universal education. I'm on the libertarian left. I am a social democrat. I believe in the Nordic model and things like that. And I also believe in climate. I believe climate change is real. But Dave Rubin, in this little segment, he made an ass of himself. What is his argument for debunking climate change? Rising seas. Oh, how ironic. I was just talking about maritime offenses and offenses on the high seas not too long ago. Ooh, this really fits in today. Oh, wow. So what's his excuse? Rich people. Why would rich people live near the water if there's rising water? Whatever the fuck he said. Let's get into it.
Would you be living right by the water? We just came back from Miami, and in Miami, you've got all of these, literally these 30, 40, 50, $70 million houses all on the water, right? And they're telling us the sea level's rising. Yet why are all the rich people still moving to the water? Are they stupid?
No, they're not stupid. You're fucking stupid, Dave Rubin. Okay, number one. You know what it's called? It's called a seawall. In Massachusetts where I live, in Boston, I don't know if it's up now, but I do know for a fact it was intended on being built, a seawall along the Boston Harbor, okay, alongside of there. So, yeah, it's a little thing. So that's your argument? Really? Really, Rave Dubin? That's your argument? Wow, you are one stupid fucking man. You are one stupid fucking man. You do not have any argument. That is not an argument for rising. No, the sea is rising. Yes, the sea is rising, but here's the thing. You're acting like all these rich people who live on the high seas, not the high seas, live alongside the water, live along the coast. You're acting like they live right along the water, like they live like 2 inches away from the water. Like, don't you know that they live a little bit further away from the water? What are you talking about? You are so fucking stupid. Oh my God, you are so stupid. You're so fucking stupid, you're making my Massachusetts accent come out. Oh my God.
Or could it possibly be that all of this is really about control and they're trying to usher in a whole bunch of policies that will enshrine that they always kind of stay in power and you eat bugs?
Well, what's the argument for that? What the fuck is the argument for that? It's really about government control, really. So all these governments, okay, I'm going to tone it down a little bit. All these governments that are working together to fight climate change, the Paris Agreement, the agreement with other countries to fight climate change, stop climate change, and all that, working together, building things like seawalls and things like that. All these types of things, that and all that. It's really about government control. The Paris Agreement was really about government control. All of this is really about government control. Like, really? How does that have anything to do with government controlling? And by the way, him saying eating bugs and all that, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God, like, what does that mean? Wait, we can't ask what that means because Dave Rubin doesn't know what it means because Dave Rubin doesn't believe in anything. Dave Rubin does not believe anything that he says. Dave Rubin literally went from being a leftist, like a liberal, then he turned into a fucking classical liberal, then he went to being from that to a libertarian because he claims that fucking Larry Elder taught him things about the liberals or what the fuck ever. Which, by the way, Larry Elder got his fucking ass kicked trying to run for governor, but he literally got like -2 votes in California. Okay, you lost to fucking Gavin Newsom. That's all we need to know about Larry Elder, and that's who Dave Rubin associates with. And I don't give a shit who Dave Rubin associates with. But you're not going to sit there and tell me that Dave Rubin believes what he actually thinks. No, he doesn't. He doesn't believe anything. He doesn't believe anything. He is just as much of a grifter as Hunter Avallone, except he's on this side of the spectrum. Hunter Avallone is a fucking grifter. I don't like him either. Dave Rubin is a grifter. But who's worse of a grifter? It's not about Hunter Avallone. This is about anybody but Rave Dubin, because we're talking about Rave Dubin in this scenario. Why? Like, there's no rational argument. Dave Rubin doesn't sit there and think, because Dave Rubin doesn't think. He's one stupid man. Which, by the way, I wish Michael Brooks was still alive. He died so young. He provided so much good entertainment, but he provided so much good entertainment ripping on this fucking retard. Because Dave Rubin is fucking retarded. He is so fucking retarded, it's not even funny. It's the dumbest thing to say that. And by the way, it's not about that. It's not about that. There's many people that live near the water. Okay, I used to live near the water. I lived in Revere, Mass. I grew up in Revere, Mass. I grew up in Salem. I'm not going to say currently where I live now, but I live about maybe 25, 30 minutes outside of Boston. I live more in the suburbs, I live in the suburbs of northeastern Mass. But what I have is, I live more in the suburbs. I did grow up along the water, and I can tell you right now that that's not an argument. That is no argument whatsoever. My parents and I, we grew up along the water. We kind of grew up in both the suburbs and in the rural, and I can tell you that's not an argument, Rave Dubin. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You never know what you're talking about. Nobody knows what you're talking about, and nobody takes you seriously because we know that you do not believe what you say. Because you're a grifter, you're a hack, you're a fucking moron, you are ignorant as all hell. You are ignorant. Remember, guys, who we're dealing with here. This is the same guy that called Greta Thunberg a climate awareness activist, a young lady from Sweden, Greta Thunberg. Say what you want about her politically, but you got to give it to her for doing things like this. She makes it aware. She makes this brutally aware, and Dave Rubin compared her to a fucking Nazi. I'm not kidding. I talked about that on my channel before. That's who we're dealing with Rave Dubin. This is how stupid Dave Rubin is. Dave Rubin is this fucking stupid. He is this stupid. Remember, guys, this is a guy who went from being liberal to classical liberal to libertarian to now conservative and now advocating for religion. And everyone gets angry when we call him a conservative. We call him a right-winger. I'm almost convinced that Dave Rubin is a fucking neocon at this point. Because he sucks up to neocons like Ben Shapiro and Glenn Beck, okay? And people like that, who I don't even think they believe what they fucking say. Dave Rubin is an SJW as well. He's an SJW. He screams anti-Semitism when anyone criticizes Israel's brutal suppression of the Palestinians, and he makes stupid fucking arguments about stuff all the time on his fucking stupid, ridiculous, bullshit, garbage show that he has, the Rubin Report, or as they should call, the Dubin Report. So that's basically what Dave Rubin does all the time. He makes ridiculous arguments about things he knows nothing about. He has no research abilities whatsoever. And that's who he is. Remember guys, this is who we're dealing with here. Remember, Dave Rubin also defended Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil. We all know what I think about Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil. I've done research about that guy. I fucking despise that guy. That's besides the point. He's defending a guy that says gays shouldn't be allowed to marry, gays shouldn't be allowed to have kids. And by the way, Mr. Rave Dubin himself also has on blazing homophobes on his show, like Ben Shapiro, like Glenn Beck, like Denise D'Souza, and many others. Who's he going to have on next? Fucking Rick Santorum? You might as well get Rick Santorum on next. You might as well go have fucking Robertson on your show next. You might as well go have all these people on. It would be the same thing. You might as well have these people on your show. You might as well have these people on your show. I mean, Pat Robertson just recently retired not too long ago. He retired about a month or so ago. So I guarantee you that Pat Robertson would have plenty of time on his hands to talk with Rave Dubin. Rave Dubin would be asking him questions about his faith, and Pat Robertson would be, where he would have his fucking neck down like this. Oh, Rave Dubin, you need to repent your sins, be a good guy, because you're right where you like me. I'm Pat Robertson. You might as well have that guy on your fucking show next, you fucking idiot. Yeah, that's who we're dealing with here, guys. He embarrasses himself all the time, every single day. Even idiots like Steven Crowder, all these people, okay? He has all these people. He doesn't debate anyone. He doesn't even debate anyone. All he does every time is he just says he makes stupid arguments. He claims that he makes, it's so stupid. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. Rising water. That's my argument. My argument is about, why would rich people live along the water? Why would people, hey, dumbass, my family's far from rich, okay? We're more like upper middle class or whatever, but I can tell you even back then in the 90s when I was growing up, when we lived in Revere, Mass, along the coast, I also work along the coast as well. I also work outside of the Boston area, near the water. And I can tell you it's because we got a little thing called seawalls and things like that, construction, things like that. Oh yeah, construction, building codes and this and that Rave Dubin knows nothing about. He knows nothing about that because he debated that with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, one of his episodes with Joe Rogan was ridiculous. Yeah, that's all you need to know about this guy. And everyone should know, I am no fan of the Young Turks. I've lost a lot of respect for them over the years over certain things that they've said. The Jimmy Dore thing, the Jimmy Dore scandal, Anna Kasparian's ridiculous comments on Syria, and about a variety of other things. But if there's one thing that the Young Turks was 100% correct about, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due, they were right about Dave Rubin. When Anna Kasparian called him a fucking fraud back in 2018, they were 100% correct. This is where Anna Kasparian does deserve credit where credit is due, whether or not you agree or disagree with them. But this is fact. This little statement that she made right here is fact.
Matt, Dave Rubin sells it as, I'm far more intellectual, and as a result, I refuse to engage in a debate or an argument. I allow people to make their case on my show. No, you're lazy. He was lazy when he worked here. He's lazy now with his ridiculous show where he proves time and time again that he doesn't know anything. And why do I know he's lazy? Why did he really leave the Young Turks? Can I please finally tell the truth about why he left the Young Turks? He wanted to make a six-figure salary to host a 30-minute-a-week show when everyone here, because we work for an independent news company, was getting paid far less while working 12-hour days. That's why Dave Rubin left the company. And now all of a sudden he's getting funded by the Koch brothers, and all of a sudden his opinions are very different. He has no political identity. He is not an honest actor. He is not an intellectual. He is a fraud. Plain and simple, and he's giving platforms to people like Milo Yiannopoulos on his crappy show. That's who Dave Rubin is.
I'm sorry, but to anyone, I know a lot of people that don't like the Young Turks, both on the left and on the right, but sorry about that, but Anna Kasparian was 100% right about that guy. I mean, this is back when she was a little bit more likable, but whereas nowadays, Anna Kasparian has definitely jumped the shark. The Young Turks has jumped the shark a lot. But I can tell you right now that that was 100% correct. And if there was someone, and you want to know who else also criticized Dave Rubin for his fucking stupid shit? Kirk Wilcox. Am I pronouncing the name correctly? Wait a minute. Yes, Kirk Wilcox also made a video criticizing this dumbass. Yes, Kirk Wilcox, people, a libertarian, a right-leaning libertarian, criticized him. I don't know if Sticks, Hex, and Hammer has ever made any commentary on Dave Rubin, but he would have a field day with it because he actually criticizes Ben Shapiro, or has criticized Ben Shapiro quite a bit over the years, which I absolutely 100% agreed with. So, yes, that's what Dave Rubin is, everybody. We have to understand. We have to be aware of who this man is. This is a man who has no core beliefs, no core principles. He doesn't believe in anything. This is why Larry King answered a phone call mid-show and talking to his son about fucking baseball. And Sam Cedar and other lefties were also talking about this, and rightfully so, because we're basically like, wow, this is how relevant you are, Rave Dubin. Even Larry King is not giving you the time of day. He's not giving you the time of day. You know why? Because even Larry King knows that Dave Rubin is a fucking moron and a hack and a fraud and everything else. He is. He's an idiot. He's an imbecile. He's an imbecile. He's just an imbecile. He's an imbecile. He's an imbecile. He can't even talk properly. He can't. He doesn't. And he's sucking up to right-wing morons like Glenn Beck, Ben Shapiro, Dinesh D'Souza, all these other people. He's kissing the ass of the Koch brothers and also kissing the ass of Prager University and fucking right-wing SJWs and all that type of stuff. Sam Harris ain't giving him the time of day. Jordan Peterson isn't giving him the time of day. No one's giving Dave Rubin the time of day because Dave Rubin is not worth the time or energy to talk to. Who does he talk to now? He only talks to right-wingers. 99.9% of the time, that's all he talks to. That's all he talks to. He did, on the other hand, talk to Cameron Kasky, one of the, fuck is his name? Yeah, Cameron Kasky, about the incident with the Florida shooting. He's basically a gun control advocate. And him and David Hogg, he never talked to David Hogg, but even he was making stupid arguments to Cameron Kasky. And Dave Rubin's fantards were reading in the comments, all triggered, all this and that, because he was debating Cameron Kasky. So when Dave Rubin wore the pants for 5 seconds, his fantards, his right-wing fan bots, threw a fucking fit. It's like, that's what happens. That's your right-wing audience for you. And that's not all right-wingers, but because I know quite a lot of right-wingers, some libertarian right, some right-leaning, some conservative, religious, whatever. But I can tell you right now, they wouldn't affiliate with Dave Rubin because they actually know quite a hell of a lot more than Rave Dubin, because at least they have beliefs. Dave Rubin doesn't have any beliefs. He just thinks communism bad, socialism bad, Venezuela, blah, 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 blah. He makes all the arguments, all these types of arguments. Whatever it does to suit his narrative, to suit his right-wing narrative. He talks to Jeanine Pirro. He talks to, and I don't care who he talks to, but does he debate him? Okay, when you talk to Jeanine Pirro, you want to sit there and you want to talk about everyone else is a bigot, everything else, everyone else is a bigot and all this other type of stuff. You want to sit there and talk about being against SJWs? You want to talk to Jeanine Pirro and ask her why did she make slanderous comments, borderline racist comments about Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is not an American because she wears a hijab. Okay, Janine Pirro is a disgusting fucking person. She's a corrupt neocon fucking asshole. I don't even know how the fuck she was ever a judge, but that's a whole nother story. Are you gonna debate her, Rave Dubin? You should talk to her about it. Talk to her about it. Talk to her, ask her about it. Oh, no, you wouldn't because you agree with that. Imagine if someone on the left said that about a Jewish senator. Oh, they're not an American because they wear a yarmulke. Oh, you know, making anti-Semitic comments. Oh, no, because it's a Muslim because they wear a hijab. Oh, no one's going to say anything about that. Oh, yeah, no, everyone's anti-Semitic. Don't call me a bigot. Don't call me anti-Semitic. Don't call me anti-Muslim or whatever. Don't say this, but then they turn around and then they act bigoted and then they're all surprised when we sit there and we call them bigots. Okay, not all of them are bigots, obviously. I think some people on the far left overstate the problem with some of these people, but Janine Pirro is a bigot. She's a bigot, and Dave Rubin gives aid and comfort to fucking bigots. People that would infringe on his rights as a gay man in a second. And look at the time. Ben Shapiro still has not gone to Dave Rubin's icky gay wedding. There you have it, folks. He also won't talk to lefties. He won't talk to people different